we are ready. You can start. Escileus, you can start.
We'll assume it starts in a moment, yeah.
Sure, he's muting. Okay, thank you. All right.
Oh,
Ooh,
the French, yeah, the opening
your guy plays
famously
French defense?
know nothing. I don't think I've ever faced him in any of my simuls, so I don't actually know his repertoire. B3 Bishop B2 is a very funky way to try and throw your opponent completely off the track. Thank you very much for the 3-month, Carp. Go Mies indeed. And yeah, my guy completely ignores the pawn sacrifice, which I think maybe is wise, because d4 queen e2. I think this is like the old Chigorin games or something, right? I think Chigorin used to play
Yes, I
some.
think so. And again, I would like to say big thanks to Mr. 2 and 2 who subscribed for Tier 1 for 5 months in a row. Thank you, Mr. 2 and 2. And Mr. Suzuki Rochester resubscribed for 6 months. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate your support. And back to the game. Sorry, Peter. Yeah.
Like a misclick. I don't think there is a French player in the world who would play c6 in this position and not c5.
Yeah, I think c5 was the intended move, yes.
Does look like a misclick to me.
Yes, Anish, you're next. So c6 is a misclick, yes, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure it's a misclick, yeah. It doesn't really like kill your game or anything, and yeah, now it's being repaired. But it gave his opponent a full tempo, which is obviously not ideal. But you get some kind of a normal. What's this opening called? King's Indian attack, right?
Yeah.
The bishop is not normally on b2 in these types of positions, but sometimes it goes there. Although I think you normally would prefer to have it on f4, where like normally white has a pawn on d3, and this bishop gets developed here
to f4, yeah.
Instead of b3 bishop b2.
Yeah, b3 bishop b2 doesn't look right, to be honest, because he's not helping the attack on the king side. Does he?
Not particularly, no. Unless you can somehow get the knight sort of teleported from b1 to g4 and then play knight f6 check, then maybe it will participate in the attack. But it's some way away.
Yeah. It is very solid though. It is very solid, and it's normal development, I would say. So
it's the pawn on e5. Yeah, it does a job.
Yeah. So okay. One of the important things in chess, I tell my guys, is to develop your pieces, make sure your king is safe, and then you can start playing for complications. So that's what they're doing. They're developing the bishops, knights, and then now now they're going to try to look for a way to mix things up. Let's call it that way.
Yeah. I would have played, instead of, let's say, d4, I would have played b5, bishop b7, a5, a4. The typical play here is to play on the queen side. But this is not horrible. The knight will go to d5, then you probably play b6, bishop b7 anyway, and it's going to be a very unclear position.
Yeah, I actually like on d5, knight on d5. And besides, with the knight on d5, you can also go for f5, maybe use black now, because...
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you can make that choice if you want to. I don't think he is forced to yet. Somewhat surprisingly, he is very much in control on the clock. This is the one huge shock for me here, is that biggest boss is a minute and a half up on the clock.
Well, again, Escileus is among those of my guys who really like the longer time controls, and 3+2 is kind of a little bit too fast for him. But it's a great opportunity for him to play versus new guys. So I actually, the reason I like the stream battles, because again, different streamers have different way of teaching the audience, right? And sometimes you can see this in the way they play, the way the students play, sort of. And as we look at you guys, our support is more of our students than just big fans, right? So and we can see this sometimes competing strategies, sometimes competing thinking patterns, yeah. Being met on the board of you guys playing chess. So allowing a5 was really probably good for white.
Yeah, I didn't really like a6, because now developing the bishop on c8 towards good squares is going to become a lot trickier. Yeah, I like knight b4 though, because now we can maybe go bishop d7, bishop c6, and try to reestablish the bishop on the long diagonal.
So on one way, a5 pawn is good, but it potentially can be also weakness. Yeah.
I would have played b6 instead of a6 there,
yeah,
for
that's
sure.
for sure. Yeah, the grandmasters would probably, they like to connect, keep their pawns connected, right? And we have this connection here. But knight
Yeah.
g5, I like this move. I like this move. Finally, white is doing something active. Ooh, bishop g5.
Is a very, let's say, risky choice, because now there is a square on d6 for the knight on.
But also
the knight
opening
on...
the h file for white is huge, very huge. I think it was a very serious mistake by black. Yeah, because bishop e4, king g2, rook h1 looks very, very hard to meet, to be honest.
Yeah, this is now a huge problem. Giving white more or less a free attack on the king side. Yeah, bishop e4, queen h5 is the right plan here, and and then even the simple plan of king g2, rook h1 will be very, very difficult to meet.
Yeah, but the time is a factor. 20 seconds versus 1 minute, and black might find g6, h5 more probably. I don't know if that works. Oh, but trading the bishop is also good. Yeah, actually, black is.
Yeah, this is an improvement. It's still probably a bad position if white plays it well, but this is definitely an improvement compared to where we were.
I like d4.
Five moves ago. Yeah,
d4
is good. And I mean, rook h1, queen h5 is still a hugely difficult threat to face.
Yeah, that's true. And if g6, for example, then even queen f3 or something, yeah?
Yeah, g6, rook h6, rook h1 is not bad. Queen f3, queen f6 is also going to be a problem. H6 is clever, actually. Queen h5, queen takes e4. But yeah, we can play rook h4 on
even rook h4 is good, yeah. Time trouble for our player, that's correct. But, it's interesting because there is a rule. There was a rule that the mate is older than the clock. Right, so if you make a mate, but your flag falls, the mate is considered to be a win.
But that doesn't work online, right? Because online you can't prove that you were making a move that makes
exactly, but that doesn't work online. Exactly.
Yeah, over the board, this rule I think still works. I think if you are finishing the motion of making the mating move and your flag drops, but you finish the motion, I think this is still a win for you. Although I am not an arbiter, so I will not be like, I'm not gonna give my word that this is true. But yeah. I think g6 was also good, but knight d6 is fine. I think the big question here is 4 seconds.
Yeah, 4 seconds.
Nothing else matters. 4 seconds might matter, but nothing else does. Your guy played this game very, very well.
I think it's not about my guy playing well, but about your guy self-destructing with bishop takes g5, really.
Yeah, that probably was a huge turning point. Yeah, allowing all these checks on 3 seconds was probably not ideal, even though it's still completely winning for white, of course.
Yeah, but
there was probably a way not to have to play this game anymore. I think white could have more or less given mate by this point.
Yes, but there's increments, so it's kind of a little bit deceiving.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think from here on out he should win very comfortably, because 2 seconds is a lot here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 1 second probably not enough for sure, but 2 seconds, yes, too much.
Yeah, I think somebody rated 2090 should be okay here on 2 second increment, because there's just very, very difficult to imagine what you can miss.
Yeah, and he's playing really well, just grabbing all those pawns like a true pawn grabber. Escileus, you're a true pawn grabber, sir. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, and making sure he doesn't. If he collects everything, he cannot lose, even if he loses on time, which is rook e7 check. Whoa, okay. that sequence didn't make much sense, but yeah, this sequence does.
All right, finally a win for us after a nice 2 win streak for Peter's team. Great job, Mr. Escileus. I'm very proud of your attack handling. Very, very good job, man. And this is